Now here in Cambridge, Massachusetts, where you have all these old houses, there's a 3-decker and there's all these 20s, you have this enormous amount of building going on. And look at this thing over here. This is very recently built. Notice how hard it's trying to look like the rest of the neighborhood. I have to say, those buildings like that are built out of ticky-tacky. They're built out of squashed sawdust and shavings and soft pine that will rot in 10 years. Wow, look at the size of that plane banking over there. Woohoo! You know, we do have an airport here, and these have all just gone up recently. All their window frames are going to rot in 10 years, right next to a 100-year-old house with no rot on it at all. So all this stuff has gone up in the last less than a decade. I can already see rot around the windows. And there's an old timer. Look at the French roof, mansard roof, right next to it, a brand new building, rotting away. And then we go down here, we got all this old housing stock and pizza place, and then we go with cars. Black, silver, white. Black, silver, white, blue, pretty. Black, silver, white, black, silver, white, black, silver, white. Black, silver, white, what's the hell is that? Gray. And there's a line of 3-deckers, just like where I grew up in Worcester. Look at the fancy woodwork on the tops of them. They're gorgeous. And all these little peaked houses, but look how close they are together. These were little, I understand this neighborhood was a neighborhood of working class people. They built these little houses for them, and they've all been added on to and added porches and blah, blah, blah. Now the core of that building could be really old. This building here, look at this one coming up, 3 stories. The top floors are shorter. The windows, the top floor is much smaller, meaning those were servants' quarters. Yep. And look at this little old mansard. This is much older than anything else here. That probably is. These are all 20s here, I think. There's one of them little houses. There's a whole row of them around the corner from here. Another little house. Little houses. These were working class people. There were some kind of factories and mills nearby in the whole 1800s, and that's what they were for. And you also have a great deal of these low 1-story stores around here, which are all getting knocked down for much bigger buildings. And there's a gorgeous church, of course. You've got your Catholic churches everywhere like that. That was the neighborhood church for all the Catholics around here. And here's these little working class houses. Look how close they are together, how small. Yep. They might even have been this part of Cambridge that where the little houses were for the black servants for the Tory mansions on Brattle Street, and all the servants lived on Mount Auburn Street. This looks very similar to that. And then it became part of the Underground Railroad during the Civil War. But these are right during that time. These houses, these 3-deckers, might well have been built during or before or after the Civil War in the late 1800s.